Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back. So today I'm going to have a little play with those Moroccan trellis edgeables again. I've got the Just to Say cut in die, Dancing Dragonfly luxury foiled card pad, the Hummingbird 12 by 12, some green glitter that was in a recent pack that they had as well, and I'm also going to be using an 8 by 8 card blank scalloped one, just because that's the only one that I've got to hand. Okay, so let me just pop that out of the way. So before I take that out, what I'm going to do is take this green, so I'm going to be using this side. So if I take that out first of all, and then I can pop that pad away. Okay, so I'm going to start as always with my trimmer, and I'm going to pop that out. And the first thing I'm going to do is bring in some of this green glitter, and I'm going to cut that to 7 3/4 square. This should fit nicely onto my card blank. I may have to trim it down a little more because of the scallops, and I will. So let's go to 7.5, and don't throw these away because that's just the border ready done for you. Just when you need a little bit of an accent. Two lovely strips. There we go, so we've got our 7.5. And then actually before I go any further, I want to gut that a little bit. So let's just come to there. I may be able to use this later on. I have got another piece here. I've made a mistake with my estimations, and it's easier to do this if you've turned it over, so it's easier to see on the back than rather than try and see through all that glitter. So I just need to go back to that should pop out. And we'll see later on whether that matches up to the size that we need. Okay, so the next one I'm going to take is this hummingbird one. So I'm going to cut this to 2 notches under the 7.5, and that will be a square. And that's going to go onto our glitter, like so, if I can get my hands to work. Let's pop it down and try doing it that way. So we've got a nice border there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is another glitter border. And I'm going to take the other sheet for this one, and I'm going to take this down to, so that last one was 7.5, so I'm going to take this one to 6.5, I think. Let's try that. Yep, that's quite nice. And I'm going to bring in one piece of my Pearlescent Crafter's Companion card. So buried the sheet. So that one we came in at 6.5, didn't we? Yeah. So this needs to be just 2 notches under that 6.5, and again 2 notches under that 6.5, and that should fit onto there quite nicely. And what I'm going to do again here is just go around and got that, just to stop our card becoming too heavy, but then also I've got the benefit of another piece of glitter that I can use elsewhere. So let's just pop that out, add that one to there. Okay. And then the next thing I need is going to be a piece of this foiled cardstock, and I'm just going to decide which one I use. I don't think I'm going to use the vines, could use the butterflies. I think I'm going to use this script, sort of floral spray, just so it kind of fits in a bit with our green theme really. Okay, and then this one, so my die size is 5.6 by 1.3. Let me just take that, it's not even been opened yet, so let me just open that up. I'm just going to lay that on, so it should be correct, so it should be, so it's just over 5.5. Okay, so this needs to be, let's go 2 notches under the 6, and I'm going to leave the length on that one at the moment because I'm going to cut into that one. And then this piece here, I'm going to go just cut to the 6, and that should fit nicely onto there. Okay, and I think for the moment that is the cutting that I need to do. So let's just pop that to the side. Okay. And we can start to assemble. Okay, so let's pop that out of the way, and I'm going to start with this one. I am using my all-purpose, but I'm just going to be super careful about not getting that to flow over the outside. I don't mind if it flows on the inside, but I just don't want it to go on the outside and perhaps take off any of that glitter. So I'm just going to pop that on. Okay, and I'm going to orient my card this way, just purely because we're going to be putting quite a bit of weight on there, and I just want that weight to fall forward and support our card rather than take it off and not. Just got a little bit of blue splurge in there, so I'm just gonna, and you can see where it's just gone a little green, it's taken a little bit of that glitter off, so just gonna be ultra careful. So yeah, just be super careful that I mean, there is a little bit of green there that I can see, but it will disappear by the time we've assembled everything else. So this piece, just going to pop over the top, and there's not really a right or wrong way, but there are some plants coming across, so just going to get those nicely. Okay, so for this next bit here, obviously that's just got to go straight on top. Let me just even that up a little bit. So I've not cut the border as neat as I would like, but I can live with that. And then this piece is going to come over the top, and for this one I'm going to use tacky glue because I want that to go down quite fast. Don't want that to be moving around, so we'll just pop that on there. Okay, so I'm just going to grab an embossing folder. So I think I want there to be a deboss on this. So you've got the sort of embossing there that's going to show up against it, but there'll also be something in the background here as well. So I'm just going to grab myself an embossing folder, bear with me. Okay, so I've decided to go with this old Crafter's Companion one, and let's see, so there's something stuck in there, let's get rid of that. It doesn't really matter which way I put it on, I'm still going to get a pattern either way. I do kind of want it to be quite straight, so just going to line that up like so. And then I'm going to bring in my big plates. And we'll pop that onto there. Put that through our machine. Nearly done. It's harder to reach with the big ones, the big plates. So let's have a look. And we've got this beautiful. And on that side, yeah, I think we're going to go like so. And then if I put that on top, I think that's just going to, because you're not going to see a lot of it anyway, so yeah, happy with that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise this a little bit as well. So let me just see which way around does that go best. That way. And if I bring in, I'm going to use some hunky dory strips on this one just because it's going to be quicker. So 1, 2. And I've got the foam on the roll there, I could use that. I might use that on the next bit. But this will be okay for now. And the one in the middle. There we go. And then if I just take the backs off there. Oops. A bit of tacky glue on just for that extra bit of stick. And then on we go. There we go, so that's starting to look good. Right, so let's put that out the way. So I'm going to bring out my trellis. And I want this border. So if I line that up on my matte sort of strip, straight-ish. My fingers are a bit sticky, so it keeps moving the paper. And let's bring in the smaller tape. And then I'm going to come down to the bottom. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So these two are at the bottom. I'm just counting these larger sort of bobbles. And then just checking I've got equal amount each side. So I'm going to pop that nicely onto there. Like so. Okay. So this isn't cut to size, but I want it to be smaller than that other piece anyway. And we're going to have our, just to say, coming out of it. So we also need this to be quite straight. So let me just grab that bit there, because I want a little bit of that at the top as well, or something along those lines. So let's put this straight again. And then if I bring my ruler just to that line there, hopefully I should be able to get that straight. Actually, let me just move that over a little bit so the distance on each side to be sort of equal as well. Yeah, I think there is good. And I'm just going to grab another piece of this if I can find the end. And pop it across that bit there as well. Okay, so for this bit I think I'm probably going to be alright in my mini plates. And I want my magnetic shim. So pop that on and we can pop that through. Let's have a little look. So that's cut away beautifully. And so has that. So now we've got the piece, the start of our piece for our front. So if I just get rid of those bits there and there, I can get that out of the way because I don't need that again. I'm not going to be cutting and putting any piecing any letters on top because the green glitter is going to come through. And I just wanted it to stay the same. You could go ahead and maybe paper piece a different colour on, just cut it again, but that's not my plan for the day. Okay, so let's grab our piece of green. Let's move that out of the way a second. Just try and put that on nice and straight. And then we decided 1, 2, 3, 4. So these two were the middle pieces. So if I put those on the bottom of the card, and then I just need to make sure it's equal distance at that side and that side. Now I'm hoping this is going to be fine on here. I may have to just trim off a little bit, but we'll see how it goes, just where this little edge is here. So it's not going to be any of the actual die cut itself. Let's pop that one through. Pop those there. grab my little scissors here, and you can see it's just connected just by a tiny little bit there. So just where that die was just, or a piece of paper was just slightly bigger than my plate, so that's not a problem. We popped it out, and even though it's glitter card, this is the Crafter's Companion glitter card. You can see that even with that sort of pretty border, it's cut it really lovely. There's no flaking or anything like that, so that is fine. So let's put that away for a second. We'll be doing some more die cutting in a minute. So the next thing I want to do is just to work out how big we want this to come. So if I grab myself a little pencil, and I think we probably want to be cutting across there, just so that I've got my glitter on the top as well. So if I just line that up there, and then what I'm going to do, just to make sure I've got exactly the right amount, I'm going to put that over the top, and then I'm just going to put a little mark there, and hopefully that should be just right. And I'm not expecting this border to match up perfectly, but I just want a slight echo of it, that's all, underneath. So, and you can see I just to say really pops. Okay, so that's going to go like there. So the next thing I'm going to do is take some more of that plain white, and this needs to be, how far across did we say that was? I think that was, so that was 2 notches under the 6, so it needs to be exactly the same width. And then this piece will need to be exactly the same, so I don't want it coming over the sides, but I do want a bit at the top and the bottom, so I'm going to cut that to exactly the same, 2 notches under the 6. Okay, and then I need to decide which of these borders I want at the top, and I need to do another piece for the bottom as well, so let me just take that off, otherwise I will forget it. So I remind myself by popping that one there, and then this one. Now, do I want to do that plain or do I want to do that green? That way. That way. So I'm just thinking, I'm actually going to do this one plain, so when I do this one in a minute I'll do that one plain, and this one I think I'm going to do well, we'll try it plain, and then worst comes to worst, we'll change it for a green one. Okay, so I'm going to pop this down. I'm going to need some more tape that's hiding from me. So I'll pop that onto there. And then, like I did last time, just going to square up these sides, so that way I know that the die is actually, this bottom die is straight. I don't want them to touch, so I don't want them to cross over. So let's just pop that down like so. Oops. And that's all. The tape has ripped a little bit, so let's just go back in. So it's getting near the end of the reel now, and I did an order for Hunky Joy the other day, and I should have put this on, but I'm gonna have to do that next time for sure. Okay, so let's pop that one through first of all. And this is going to have a straight edge at the top, but I think it does need the glitter underneath it, so we'll cut that and we'll see how that goes. I think what I may do is cut the plain border, if I may have it. No, I don't, so it's going to have to be that one. Let me just tap this out. Okay, so for this next bit I only want this edge, but what I'm going to do is just keep it all attached while I line it up. And then what I can do is just take that one out, and we'll keep that one in. Have a little look what that looks like under there. I should be able to match that up almost perfectly, and then we'll have, obviously this is going to be stuck down, it's buckled up a little bit because it's stretched as it's gone through, but we will pop that through. I'll make sure that none of that green is showing at the top. Okay, and then the plan was to sort of do something to go on here as well. But I don't think, let's have a little look, see. Just going to be a raised sort of border. I think I would struggle to put that on anything underneath, so I'm going to leave that. I'm going to just go with what we've got so far. So with this piece here, let's turn it over the wrong way. Oops. All to go under there. And if I put it this way, I'll be able to tell you how big the piece is. So it's going to be, let's say, approximately 1 3/4 inches. So it's just a small piece. And then let me just poke these bits out. Where's my pin gone? So this is just the pin that I use in the top of my glue bottle. May have to use my pokey tool, but and it's just the glitter card. Sometimes it does hold on to those fibres just a little bit. Okay. So this bit we're wanting to come over the top as much as possible. Just going to put a tiny little mark there. And originally I wasn't going to have any border around the edge. I've decided I think just have a little bit around the top. Let's see, so let's just take a little more off there. It wasn't quite straight, I don't think that was what the problem was. There we go, so I'm happy with that. So that's going to go on the top there. And then we've got, if I look at my little sketch, we have to do a little bit of stamping as well. But that will be fine. Okay. So let's start to assemble this. So this again I want to be raised, but I want it to be raised from behind the green this time. So this one was raised from behind the white. So I'm going to go ahead with my tacky glue. And just going to put a nice amount on there, especially on these letters, but not so much that it's going to splurge out, hopefully. Might just dab that bit off on my hand. Yeah, just along those letters because I don't want them to splurge out into the glitter. Although it'll dry clear, it's not going to be that big a deal, but ideally if it doesn't happen in the first place I would be a bit happier. Okay, so that's there. Nice and flat. Those will stick down. And then I did say I was going to use some of their foam on a roll, so let's go ahead, grab my scissors, and this is probably about 3mm, I would say, maybe 4. I think it's really meant to be for sort of shaker cards and things, which I could have done a shaker card behind this with some green sequins, would have been nice. Maybe with the next one. And I do like these sort of dies with the cut-in words. I've got the ones with the more sort of scripty words on there, really nice as well. And I think they're ideal just for making a quick card, as well as, you know, you can go to town with them like this and sort of really build them up or make them part of a larger piece. But equally so, you know, you could just put that on a card with a little, you know, just to say thanks for whatever you're saying thanks for, or whatever you're saying, and then just the little topper. And that could be on, you know, a little 6x4 card, 6x6 card, and it would look nice. So okay, so we can pop that on like so, and then this one again, we're going on to this glitter. I'm going to put some of this glue on the back of my hand. We'll just pop that through. Some more, and obviously don't do this unless you know you're okay with the glue. So yeah, I don't want anyone to sort of be doing this and then wondering why they've come out in a rash. It doesn't affect me in any way, so just be careful, just in case it does, just in case you're a little bit more of a sensitive person than me. Down. Just give that a good press. And by turning it over, I can just give it a good press and flatten it out a little bit as well. So it's got less chance to keep staying in that buckled shape. Okay, so this is going to come on like so, and I think I am going to raise this again. Let's go a little bit more. Do I want to go to that same height again, or should I just go a little lower? Just grab a hunky-dory pad because they are a little bit thinner, maybe a 1mm. Might have to use the little ones. Let's see. Oh, that's not too small. Okay, so this is the 1mm foam pad from Hunky Dory, and I'm just going to put, if I can get them off, put a number on over here just to give that a good amount of support. Oops. And there is, because I've not done the other bit there, I was going to do another piece, like I said, and have the green at the bottom as well. I don't think I'm going to do that, but because I haven't done that, if you wanted to do a little floral arrangement there, you could do. I'm probably going to put my sentiment there instead, which we will do in a second. Let's see how that feels. That feels nice. And even though I've put all these foam pads on and I am going to take all the backs off them, you don't necessarily have to take all the backs off. You could just take off the backs of some key ones and then glue. It's really there just for the support of the card more than anything else. And because we've been gutting our card as we've gone along, the card isn't that heavy, even though you know, there's quite a lot of card being used, and it's nice to be able to sort of use the little bits that are left, you know, elsewhere, so that you don't feel like well, number one, you're not using all of your stash, and number two, you feel like it's a bonus when you use it somewhere else. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this in, and obviously it's the same width, but I just want that little bit of white before we see that green again at the top. Okay, so then the next thing we need to do is to stamp out a sentiment. So on here we've got stamps that say, "You are amazing, you're in my thoughts, thanks and hello." So I think I'm going to go with the thanks. So we'll pop that one out, and I haven't used these, haven't primed them in any way. I'm just going to grab, I'll use a little bit of that pearlescent card. Actually I'll use that bit because it's smaller. So this is just a little offcut. And I'm going to bring in my Hunky Dory stamp platform, just because it's slightly smaller than the Crafter's Companion one, so I do like to use it. And then I'm just going to pop my thanks. Let's go down here. Move that over. And I don't want a huge sentiment piece, so just move that down a little bit. And then for ink, I think, let's see what we've got here. We've got, let's go with the waterproof one, just because it's the one I've got to hand, and this is the black. I do like to stamp in black, I have said that before. I could have gone in with a quick dry green. Not even sure I've got a green in the quick dry. I've got a number of quick dries, but it was just like one little package of 10, so I don't know off the top of my head what colours I've got in there. So oops, just touch that black, that could come and haunt me. Okay, let's put that out of the way, and that needs to go over back on there so it doesn't get lost. And that stamp's gone away as well, stamping station. Okay, so now we need to cut our sentiment down. And as you know by now, I hate cutting these smaller pieces just purely because it gets a little tricky. So from there to there we've got that. So I'm going to go there, so it's about an inch just under. Put that across there. I think I might just take a little bit off the bottom of here as well. What I thought of the other day, just to try and keep it still and make it easier for me, is if I line it up with this line on here and pop a little bit of tape there. Maybe, ooh, that worked. That might make it easier for me to cut smaller things, so that is perfect. So let's see, so I need to, just going to mark it with my thumb here just to make it easy and just to make sure it fits to my actual sentiment. And I don't want a huge border, just enough to fit it in with the actual card itself. And again, I'm just going to mark that with my thumb. Just going to stick a little bit of tape on there, keep that still. And let's have a look there. It's a little wider at the top than I want, so I just want to take a smidge off. So let's just gently moving it down and just trying to keep it level on this part here. Let's see how well that works when I've just taken a teeny tiny bit off. And it's worked perfectly. So there is a little trick. If you are struggling like me to cut teeny tiny bits on your cutter, use a little bit of tape. So I'm happy with that. So now we can just go ahead and pop this on. And I'm just gluing that on with the tacky glue. And then I think I will again come in with these little 1mm pads. Oh no, let's move. Let's quick get that before that glues. Try and be a bit gentle with it this time. Yep, it's stayed the same place. Let me just see where I want that to go. So I could go there. I kind of was thinking I would probably go to the side. Or we could even come down here. No, I think it needs to go there. And break that space. So that's what I will do it. And then it's just going to be a case of getting some pearls out. Okay, so I put a tacky glue, trim it up the right way so it's not Australian. And I'm going to put that there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab some pearls. Okay, so I was toying with going green with the pearls, but I've got some medium size nice green ones, but I didn't have any in the smaller ones to match, so I am going to have to go with the white. So I'm going to do 3 along here of my large ones, just using my picky up tool. There. Just try and get those nicely lined up. And then I want one on each corner down here. Doesn't want to leave me. That's that one. And we've got some medium ones here. Buried my tray again. And what I'm going to do is just go on these little filigree bits here and pop some on. If you don't like doing this stonework, two there, so I don't know why. It's stuck together. Oh, we've got it. If you don't like doing this, then obviously you don't have to. It looks pretty enough without it. I'm just one of those people that will sit and put pearls on if I can. I'm sort of will actively look for a place to put a pearl or a gemstone, that sort of thing. That's totally my thing. Nearly done. And I think, let's see, turn this around the right way. Yeah, I think I'm going to get some, these are smaller ones. Slightly smaller, and then I'm just going to go all along this, the center of this border, with these. It's a big one. And like this sort of thing, you can do as much or as little as you want to. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and finish this off and do exactly the same on the bottom. So bear with me while I do that. Okay, so that's all of the pearls put on. As you can see, I've just gone along all of these edges and just put one little pearl in the middle. So I'll just bring that up. Let me just move those out of the way to show you. Okay, so what I would do now is go ahead and make a little box for it, and then just a plain insert as well, just to complete it. So that's all I'm going to be doing today with this die. Thank you so much for watching. As always, thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to be back next time with Hunky Dory. Probably going to be the springtime decollage one. I think that's probably what I'm going to play with next. In the meantime as well, I may also try and do a Pollyanna Pickering set from when they were with Creative Crafting World, just because I know that they Linda is going to be doing a new set that's download only with the Crafty Witches on Hobby Maker on Saturday or Sunday. I think it's Sunday. Yes, I think it's 26 at 4 o'clock. So I might try and do an extra little video with a card from that, because you know, I've got these kits here, and Pollyanna Pickering, there's just the most beautiful artwork. So you know, I know there's a lot of people out there that do love her stuff and what Linda brings. But then after that it will be back to Crafter's Companion. So not sure yet what I'll be doing. It's like I say, still playing with those heritage dies. I haven't got an idea set in my mind on how I want to play with that yet, but we'll see what happens. But thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself. See you next time. Bye bye.